the same is true in India, and if you felt that this was a dangerous movie for you to make at all.
What do you mean a dangerous movie?
Oh, just because of this displaying the inner workings of this police force and this system.
Yeah, but at the same time, like Bollywood is very used to the story of the rotten system, you know, like as well as American cinema is and British cinema is, like it's a theme, isn't it? I think what's a bit different in this film is that everybody's kind of a bit morally grey, including Santosh. So it's not the good cop in the bad system. It's just everything slightly rotten. Yeah.
Great. I'd love to hear from the audience. Does anyone have a question? Please raise your hand high and don't be shy. Yeah, right here.
So early in the film, the girl who was complaining, she she had a boyfriend and they got physical and then he wouldn't marry her. And then Santosh saw her laughing in the cafe and a policeman on a motor scooter took money. What was going on there?
Okay. Yeah. So this was from my research, talking to cops about how that type of corruption might take place. So, right from my research, what I understood was that money doesn't change hands around the police station because that's just a bit risky. There are cameras everywhere. Police aren't supposed to accept bribes. So, what I found during my research was like a little microcosm outside the station of corruption, of a whole system that didn't work. So there's a cobbler who's writing the complaints, and there's a tea shop where they're taking the money. So I already knew I wanted to feature both of those things. And with a girl, what happens is that she has some sort of revenge story on this guy for whatever reason. Maybe they did get physical, maybe he wasn't interested. So they've paid off the police, usually at a certain rate of rupees per slap or beating that he's going to get. I learned that as well. They've paid them off, and so she has a little code with the other police lady, like, can I go to the bathroom? Santosh is totally clueless, doesn't know what's going on. Maybe she thinks the girl's in distress. She goes towards the bathroom, and then, like, she sees the girl hitting him. And then she witnesses that scene in the tea shop where the tea guy, the father pays a tea guy who pays a policeman. So again, it's not direct. No one's making a transfer directly. So it keeps everybody safe, allows the corruption to go on. And then I like very much that the girl sort of smiles at Santosh, like, okay, thanks, like this is how it works. You're going to get a cut. And Santosh just, I don't know what her look is. It's kind of like, okay, actually, no, I wasn't involved in that, thanks. But then later, she does.
Or from the audience? Yeah, right there.
Does this level of corruption transcend all the different castes, or did you find it across the board, or was it in the lower castes that you have no representation?
I'll just repeat it in case you couldn't hear. It was about does this level of corruption transcend all the castes, or is it sort of caste specific?
No, that's quite endemic in many. I mean, this is about a sort of a type of place in which all these things exist. And I think corruption, India is very well known for it, but it's just a matter of visibility. I mean, it's just things are very much better hidden in other places. And, it's about the day-to-day encounters with corruption that you might have a bit more over there than you would over here. But, we know that we have grand-scale cover-ups everywhere of impunity. Yeah.
Is that also true of corporal punishment? The beatings,
yeah. I mean, look, the police have very frank discussions with me in my research of like, this is what you need to do. But again, is that really particular to India? I don't know. I don't think so. Not entirely. Yeah.
More questions?
The police torture people here in Chicago, so it happens here too, or notorious.
We had one up here.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for telling the story because it's just, amazing as well. But I had sort of a similar question. In your research, how pervasive was this amongst the communities in India and, just the shock and can you add more detail to this about the lack of
about how endemic it really is, how pervasive it is, and the lack of sort of resources and support to combat it.
I mean, I will just say again, this is a fiction though, but it's a slightly amplified fiction of a type of place where these things sort of exist very casually. It was about the idea of a place where it's a tapestry, you know. It's not where all these things kind of exist in a very casual nature. The violence, the misogyny, the Islamophobia. Of course we have NGOs dealing with things and, you know, very strong Dalit activist movements, very strong political bodies. But the fact that there is this much impunity, particularly around violence against a lower caste girl like that, is pretty real. Not that there won't be comeback, not that there won't be people campaigning. That's why in the film, you know, while trying to keep some sort of dramatic tension going, it was very important for me to show the anger of the population of that place, about the police, about the system, to not just show the victimhood. So like, she leaves that place, but maybe one day there will be some sort of revolt, uprising, you know, and but for the parents of the girl, I have seen that can be sometimes the only route to getting anything done is to bring the body to the police station. Like, I have seen that. That's not only written, unfortunately, which is horrible. If that's the one thing you can do, is bring your dead daughter's body to the station in order to demand action.
Yeah, right here.
I wondered in the scene when Santosh is looking for the boy and they're in the cafe and that man is kind of leering at her. First of all, that was just such a powerful scene, but I wondered if you could tell us what you thought was going through her mind.
The question was about the scene in the cafe. She's looking for the boy, and there's like a man sort of leering toward her.
You know, growing up in the UK and going back to India, like from being a kid, and going as like a prepubescent girl and wondering why all these men are just staring at me in such a direct way, and sort of learning like to stomach that. This literal male gaze, which you have to deal with in India, like a very literal, very intense one, and the idea of trying to figure out what do you do with that, that was a really instinctive scene to write. I just knew that she was going to regurgitate, literally just stomaching it. I just knew, and it wasn't an intellectual idea. It was really like, okay, this guy's gonna be looking at her. What can you do to stop him looking? And what is your reaction to all that looking? What is the, she was just, and we had such great fun also in that scene. Casting the guys, you know, early morning, you look at me, no, more disgusting, no, look at me. And then, as you'd have 10 men at breakfast, just staring at me, and then, and then what she produced from that, I just didn't know it was gonna look that vile. Like, we didn't rehearse that. When it came out, I was like, whoa, it's amazing. Yeah. I wanted it to be the poster, but like, Nobel was up for it, so.
Yeah, we have a bunch here. You, yes.
Okay, where do you hope Santosh is going in the end? Like, what is she going to do next?
The question is, where do you hope Santosh is going in the end? What do you hope she does next?
So the idea was that, you know, she leaves her uniform there. So we see her leave her uniform, and then she's going to go back home. She's at the station, and then she sees the couple across the platform who are going on the other train to Mumbai, and then she decides to get on that train. And for me, it was really about a film in which Sherma says to her, look, there are two ways to be a woman. You can be a woman like me, or you can be a woman at home, you know, bargaining for vegetables, you know, with your in-laws, you know, where you're not wanted. And for me, it was very important to say, well, actually, Santosh is going to find like this third way. She doesn't know what it is, but it's leaving behind this level of corruption and stagnation and this where nothing will change. And Mumbai is some sort of idea of hope, of modernity. So she's going to there, we don't know what she's going to do. but I think she can manage. I feel she can manage, thanks to Sherma, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
So, the train going by, fracturing the couple across the tracks. I almost didn't know whether they were in love or he was dragging her and forcing her to go to Mumbai. And then I thought, oh God, now she's going to Mumbai and she's going to find a sex slave ring.
Did nobody feel that? I think she's pretty joyous, the young girl. And they are pretty, maybe the darkness of the rest of the film infiltrated that shot, but I kind of hoped that, for me, that shot was always a counterpoint to the rest of the film. That shot, that couple is about the life of a young boy and a young girl, both of whose lives have been snuffed out, you know, what could have been, with their harmless little chat they were having on their, you know, that never got to be anything. So it's about the innocence of that love, those two lives, and I think she's very radiant and beautiful, and it's also a little reminder of her love marriage with her own husband. So yeah.
We had one in the orange. Yep.
For the storyline, were you leading this to the point that the higher caste person was purposely polluting the lower caste will, so they'd have to come to him, so that
Yeah.
possibly he killed women who would come to his well?
No, it didn't go that far, but I have had that hypothesis before, and that's I would edit wondering what to do about that hypothesis that might come up. Not that it's a terrible misinterpretation, but it's slightly less planned than that. The idea being that, again, this does happen, that the upper castes pollute the lower caste well for general harassment, not to lure the girls necessarily. And that girl, because she is a little free-spirited, dared to go to the upper caste well to get water instead of walking that miles and miles and miles to the other well. So then it was, you know, rape and murder as retribution more than anything, or an opportunity, but not a specific trap. No.
Yeah. There we go.
Was her boss a heavy-set policeman? Is she a well-known Indian character actress?
She is. She's mainly in the comedic space, actually. She's the jolly auntie, which is quite fun to think of after watching that. So it's been great for her. She had a great time doing this role, because she is a trained character actor from the National School of Drama, but she has found herself a lot in the comedic space of late. So it's kind of what I liked about her. She brings a very human element to a kind of severe role.
Yeah. She really carries this, especially that scene in the restaurant between
Yeah.
the two of them. Fantastic.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. In the way back, yeah.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to say that I cried a few times during the movie, unexpectedly. I just want to thank you and I guess congratulate you for what you have made, because it's phenomenally heartbreaking, and the craft is just,
Oh,
your craft on all levels.
thank you so much.
Photography, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
You first? Yeah.